So are we ready?
This is Jay.
This is A,
And this is Mocksicated.
where we drop the booze and walk through the reality of life alcohol-free.
So grab your favorite mock, get ready to laugh, and let's get Mocksicated.
Well, hello.
Howdy do. Howdy do, partner.
Welcome back
Welcome to our show.
to our show.
It just reminded me, I'm going to just apologize ahead of time for my dogs. There is a situation next door, and Peyton cannot control himself, so
That's okay. We love to hear Pete.
we love to hear Peyton. He loves to hear himself as well, so. Can you believe it's almost summer?
No, I feel like it's already summer and I'm already stressed.
May is I was going to say a dumb month. I love May, actually. But for school and kid purposes,
Yeah.
it's the stupidest thing alive.
I saw something the other day on Instagram that was like, it said it was May and December put into one word.
yeah.
So it was
May-cember.
the next worst month of the year for
Yes.
parents. Because
It's everything.
seriously, they pack in. So literally, Atlas has 4 field trips this month. And then on top of like water day, play
4
day, a
field trips.
promotion, all of these things.
Yeah, promotion,
Yeah.
field day, teacher appreciation week,
Yeah.
the dress up days.
Yeah, it's just and it's like
Field
for
trips.
us moms that have our kids at home during the summer and also work from home, you're trying to like fit so much into May without kids. And there's just no time. But then I also am like trying to fit in the fun things I want to do without my kids. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm literally not going to sleep the whole month of May for my own purposes of wanting to do alone adult things.
Yeah.
And wanting to do also, but then also going to every field trip, doing it all. And then I also am really smart and planned trips in May, which I couldn't not plan them because we're going to which I don't really know how to say it. Everyone says it different, but we're going to a peony farm. Peony, I don't know.
Peonies.
Peonies, right?
Yeah.
Random people.
Peony?
Half of the people will
That's like
correct.
a pony. No, peony.
I usually say, "Oh yeah, the pea on me."
That's a good way of remembering it, I think.
But yeah, so
The peonies.
Chris and I are taking my mom for her 60th, which her birthday's in June, but we love peonies. And so we are going to the flower fields in Portland, and that's literally, you have to go in the window when they're blooming. So
Yes.
it was during May. And then, yeah, it sounded like a great idea.
I think it will be.
It will be.
It'll be escape from the
Yeah.
things.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know that no kid life, but next year I might.
Yeah, might.
If they want to let my son into preschool. That's not for today.
That's not for today.
I'm the opposite because I get my partner back in the
Yes.
summer. We have more lazy days. I feel like I get to do more things in the summer than I'm like so restricted because someone has to watch my kid at all times.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like I'm going on a lot of trips personally, but my children are only going to Disneyland only
Yeah, only.
for Miles' birthday. He's going to be there on the day of his birthday,
Oh
and
my
he's going
gosh.
to tell us exactly what to do the whole day. He gets
Yes.
to call the shots, so
Oh, that's going to be very
that'll
fun.
be exciting. And it's Disneyland's 70th birthday, in case you guys didn't know.
Dang.
70 years.
Wow.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, that is. And 8th birthday. Wow.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What
That's
a
big.
celebration.
What
Didn't
a
even
summer.
realize that. So, nothing to apologize for. Was that not smooth?
Very smooth.
I'm sorry to not apologize because
don't say sorry.
We don't say sorry, but we are apologizing today because we're talking about apologies. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Apologies.
Apologies. And I think that this is a good topic. It's obviously one that comes up a lot in sobriety, but I personally have been utilizing this tool lately. And so I thought it was a good thing to kind of dive into. But before we start talking about it, of course, we're going to give you a definition. Allie mentioned yesterday in front of a group of people that she enjoys Merriam-Webster. Or that he's her guy or something.
Yeah,
like
in
that.
front of a group of people.
And I just felt like I need to save that in my Rolodex for when we record tomorrow. Because I know I'm going to be pulling up Merriam, Allie's guy. Okay.
Do we know that he's a male?
I'm sorry. I'm just assuming because the patriarchy that it's a male.
Yeah.
But Merriam could be.
I never thought about it.
Should I?
I'm on it. Go ahead and read the definition.
Thank you. Okay. Apology. This is a short definition. A regretful acknowledgement of an offense or failure. So you regret it, you acknowledge it, and that's how you apologize. But that's not as helpful as this definition. An apology is an expression of regret or remorse for a wrong or mistake, often accompanied by an admission of fault. Apologies can be interpersonal between individuals or collective between groups or a group and an individual. They can be offered in various ways, such as one-to-one or many-to-many. An effective apology acknowledges responsibility, expresses remorse, focuses on the actions of the apologizer rather than the other person's reaction.
Oh my gosh, that's huge. That's a huge one.
Focusing on the actions of the apologizer rather than the other person's reaction. I'm sorry, I just needed to, speaking of the Rolodex, put it in there. Okay, is Miriam a girl?
No. Miriam is a company and does not have a gender. It is not a person.
Okay, well, that's good.
But then it
At
did
least
say
it's not a man.
Noah Webster did start.
Get out of here, Noah.
Yeah, by Noah.
Noah and Nally is the only Noah I acknowledge. The Notebook.
Oh, I know.
Okay, anyways. What's an apology to you?
An apology to me. It's so many things.
Like what's the best way someone can apologize? Like what do they do?
Well, first, I think that they're honest with themselves.
Ooh, boom.
Because I think that when you're apologizing, you can truly, or when somebody is apologizing to you, you can truly see if it's genuine or not. And so when I am being apologized to, if I feel like it's not real, I just literally stop listening. And I'm like,
Zone out.
yeah, I'm like, okay, you're trying to please me, and I want you to acknowledge what you have done, to make me upset.
Authenticity.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. What is it to you?
It's funny because my husband will not, he hates this, but I cannot deal with the words I'm sorry. Yeah. So if you want to apologize to me, you can't say I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, no, action. I was going to say action too, through action.
Because there's words, and words only mean so much, there has to be something attached to it for me. And I think that I have been, this isn't my husband's fault, but I have been apologized to, and it didn't have any meaning. And so the action occurred again, and to me that just takes everything out of the words I'm sorry. So I'm sorry is not it for me. There needs to be more.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's great.
It has to be accompanied. Okay, and then sometimes people, not me, but there are people in this world that are why should I apologize? Have you ever come across?
Yeah, or they're I have nothing to apologize for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When clearly there's something they should.
If someone feels it. Okay, but so Dr. Patrick.
Okay, doctor.
I found this on Quora. He has this quote. When you say sorry, it is not because you are weak. It shows that you are at peace with yourself and that you're stronger than your ego. When you say sorry, even if you are right, it means that relationship is more important than your self-pride. When you say sorry, it is not just for the other party. It is also for yourself to cultivate a healthier spirit. When you say sorry, it may not mean that you have done wrong. You do it because it is an important skill to learn in life, and you can only do so through deliberate practice. You are a pace setter in making peace and strengthening peacemaking process. Saying sorry is an important part of living in harmony. It is your contribution to bringing out peace to the world around you.
I really like that.
Isn't that so beautiful, Dr. Patrick?
Dr. Patrick, way to go.
A doctor and a poet.
Rare.
Wow. Dr. P. Okay, so yeah, I agree. Like, I think that there are so many reasons to apologize that benefit both parties.
Yes.
A lot of the times, people that have a problem apologizing are coming at it from an ego-driven standpoint and don't realize the benefits of them apologizing that they are going to receive. But I think that it does take a lot to apologize to someone. So, like, you have to be ready in order to be able to do it. But once you're ready, like, the peace that it brings yourself is worth so much more than, you know, that ego of like, why should I apologize? Or I don't need to apologize. They don't deserve an apology from me. Like, the peace that you feel is so much stronger than that.
Yes. No, totally. I think a lot of the times too, I'm like, oh, I know I should apologize for that. And really, sometimes I feel like the people don't even realize that I'm festering on like, oh, I should apologize.
Yeah.
But it's more me than anything. And if it's going to clear my conscience and make me feel better and stop thinking about this situation, if I just like voice it, then it's better than anything.
Totally.
Truly.
Okay, so as you know, it is the 4th step in the 12 steps. So if you take part in recovery programs, this is probably something that, you know, they suggest for you to do, to make amends. Yes, I knew you would know. The actual term is to make amends. And there's ways that you can apologize. Allie has some, and also freedomaddiction.ca has some guidelines. The first is to be sincere, which is, I think, what you mentioned.
Yes.
You are not, like, just don't apologize if you're not going to be sincere, because it can be felt.
Yeah, and then you're going to, I personally, for me, it becomes offensive when it's not authentic. I'm like, do you think I'm stupid? Do you think, you know, and then I start and it like literally makes me want to rage. And like, then it's just going to go to the next level and make things way worse.
Well, and that can also be a form of manipulation too. And so, and I think you and I have good indicators of like, whoa, like I can feel this energy and it's not sincere. Speaking from your heart, looking the person in the eyes and taking full responsibility for what happened is how you be sincere. Making a clear statement. Sometimes people like to like walk around and I apologize for, I regret this, instead of just being like, I hurt you, I'm so sorry. Or there's always the I'm sorry buts. Don't ever I'm sorry but. Expressing regret and then attempting to make amends. Oh wait, I feel like that. Okay, attempting to make amends. So whatever that means to you, like apologizing for whatever it was, getting into what happened to them and how it made them feel, or just the action, providing assurance that it won't happen again. And then the last one was give it time.
Yeah, time is a big one. I think time heals a lot of wounds for sure. But sometimes it's annoying because I want it to be quicker.
Yeah, we are.
In this society we have, you know, and I put kind of the same, like take full responsibility for what you're apologizing for. Yeah. I think that's a huge one too with me, like just say it, like kind of what you're saying.
Well, and full responsibility also means like it is 100% my fault. I am not going to pinpoint 1%, 2%, 5%, 10% on you. Yeah. Like full responsibility. This entire full thing was on me, even if maybe you feel like it could have been led on by someone else.
One of the, like a quote that is very popular in my house because my dad has drilled it down my throat my whole life is blaming others keep us helpless. And I feel like in apologies, a lot of the time blame comes out on other people or other things. And I feel like even just saying that out loud to people really like stops them in the tracks because they realize you're right. Like I am blaming someone else and I didn't even realize I was blaming. And I'm like, okay, well, let's not.
Yeah, full responsibility.
Full responsibility. Like, and then understanding the impact too. I don't know.
It's where the empathy comes in.
Yeah. And then another thing, because I can be very quick to apologize when I feel I've hurt somebody's feelings before I really sit down and think about why I'm apologizing. And so I always like stop. It's almost like the text message, like stop, wait, decompress, and then if you still feel that way in a couple of hours, then move forward, because I can be so quick to just blah. And then I'm like, wait, what? I don't even know what I'm apologizing for at this point, because I've just thrown up all over you.
Well, and one, it could be fueled by social anxiety or some
insecurity,
sort of,
like
anxiety,
all of that. Like it's,
And so taking a beat and sitting on it will tell you, like, is this just an anxiety I'm having because I'm still ruminating, or is this something that's actually in my heart that I feel like I need to do?
Yes, totally. And then the last kind of chunk that I wrote down is, what are you actually saying sorry for? Are you saying sorry for yourself? Are you doing it to please others? Maybe you aren't even sorry, but you're told that you have to apologize. And so you're apologizing. And I feel like that's the worst. That's like such a parent thing to be like, say sorry, say sorry.
Oh my gosh. And it's such a bad habit to break, I think, from the generation we came from, because like manners and how you respond to people was drilled into us. And then you add social anxiety to the mix. So then you're like, say sorry. But like I've had to take a step back and tell my kids, like, I think it would be a really good idea if you said sorry because she was hurt. But if you don't feel sorry, then don't.
I know. I, for a long time, took the word sorry, like, out of our vocabulary. And instead I would say, I think you should go check on your friend and see how they're doing after that happened, and see if they're okay.
Because it's about the sentiment. Like you said, why are you doing it? You're doing it because you want to help or you feel better somewhere along the line. And so you have to make sure that sentiment is there. And there is, on this same thing, the mistakes that you can make in apologizing. The first one, placing blame. When you apologize, it means you're taking the blame. If you're going to attempt to place blame at any point during your apology, it has the potential to make things worse. Revising history. Ugh.
That makes me want to throw up.
Don't alter your actions to make them appear less severe. If you don't remember exactly what happened, stick to the basics. That's not important. Your sincerity is what matters. And then forcing the other person to accept your apology. Your job is to make an apology. You don't have any control over how this impacts the other person. Maybe they'll accept it in full. Maybe they'll tell you they'll never forgive you, but you cannot force your apology. You have to let it run its course. And I think that was so smart that they put on here to give it time, because I think when you're doing the right thing, especially in sobriety, like, you're so excited to be like doing the right thing all the time, and you feel really proud of yourself. And so you're like, okay, I'm going to apologize to this person. And you're like, it's going to be great. Like, I don't know, maybe you think that they're going to receive it so good, and you're like, great. And then you go to do it and they don't receive it well, or you get something like a slap in your face back. Like, that can't alter your why. Yeah. That can't alter, like, what you did this for. Like, the real reason you did this is a release, of your past self, of your past mistakes, so you're not carrying it, and so that you can make amends to this person, and then it's up to them. Yeah. You can't force someone to accept your apology.
I didn't think I was going to talk about this in this episode, but so the man that sexually assaulted me did call and try to make amends with me, and I was wasted in a kitchen.
When he called?
Yeah, with people that didn't know it had happened. And I answered all happy and crazy, and then realized it was him. And he started to, do the spiel. I'm in rehab, and fourth step is, and I literally told him, go dig a grave and put yourself in it. Don't ever call me again. I never, like, very offensive. And then I looked up and everyone was silent looking at me. So then I had to explain what was going on, which I didn't want to do that, but it felt like I needed to. But in that time, that's what it felt was right. I was wasted. I like all of that. And then now looking back, Jess and I actually had this conversation a couple weeks ago. I wish I would have listened, and I wish I would have but I was not in the space to have listened or anything. And it was too fresh and all of that. Yeah. But now where I am, I'm like, I would have loved to hear what he had to say, because it was so just hurtful, the whole situation. And then
you deserve an apology.
All of it. And so now, well, no, I'm like, now don't call me and apologize
I was
if you're
going to say,
listening.
do you want to?
I'm like, but there is a part of me that
Four-letter
wishes
name.
I would have
Let him talk.
just let him talk a little bit more. Like, what is he
Interesting.
apologizing for? Was he
Yeah.
apologizing for the action or the words after or the whole, like, what are you sorry for? You know?
Yeah.
And so there's like that little bit, but
Well, and I think too that brings us to a good point about like apologizing in situations that you don't maybe remember what you did or how it was, or we talked a couple weeks ago about blackouts and so many things that I had done during blackouts that I don't remember. And so a recent apology that I had included, like, I wanted to apologize for the outrageous, hard to deal with, mean, and sometimes violent behavior that you had to deal with. I can't imagine how hard that was. And I really appreciate how you handled it. And in that, like, I could never remember, like, what I did to this person or, like, if it was that bad, if it wasn't that bad. But the fact that I know that I had gotten blackout around them, I know what behaviors I exhibited when I was blackout. I know that it was unsafe and unhealthy. Like, that enough is alone to give me like 4 points to apologize for, and like maybe that other person remembers what that stuff was. Maybe that other person doesn't, but just to be able to be like, I'm sorry to even put you in that position. Like, you don't have to know every single thing you did to apologize to somebody about what you caused them.
yeah. So really quick, that leads me to a question. Do we apologize for blackouts? How do you feel about that?
And I think that it's funny because we did have this conversation the other day, and the majority of the people that I would apologize to for my behavior in my blackouts are still in my life. Because I have a small circle. And so I don't know that I've ever looked every person in the eye and said, I'm sorry for what I did when I was blackout. Like you, Devin, I have apologized to Philip, my mom, my sister, all of these people that were chronically around me, but almost as if like my behavior and them seeing me grow and them loving me through this is enough of an apology.
Yeah.
And if anybody ever needed one, I would totally give them one. You know what I mean? I would 100% give somebody an apology if they were like, you know what, when you were blackout, like this is how you treated me. I only seek out apologies if it's put on my heart.
Yeah.
And I think that exactly like what you said, on the other side of it, like every time I've apologized, it's been something that like, boing, like hit me.
Yeah.
And was like, maybe you should apologize to this person. And I mulled over it for a few days, thought about what I would say, maybe bounced it off people I trusted, and then got to the point too where like, however this person responds, whatever they say.
Yeah, the expectations after the apology, I think, are huge,
Are
too.
huge. And even when I set myself up of like, I don't care what this person says back, this person doesn't have to accept my apology. I still mean it as much as I did if they would have said something back. I did find myself like kind of anxiously.
Like looking like,
are they going
to read? Have they read it yet? Like,
are they going to say, but, and thankfully both were received well in my recent case, but you have to be able to let go of that because you do have to understand, especially in, not so much recovery, but if you are in recovery or just in sobriety, like that person was awful sometimes.
Yeah.
My person was awful a lot of the time. And you guys don't like being around awful people. And if someone does something awful to you, it takes time to get over it. You might not be ready for an apology. Yeah. And that shouldn't discourage you, right? You're still going to reach out. You're still going to do it. I think another thing that you can do if that person seems unreachable is write a letter.
Yes.
It's
and
very powerful. And
burn
burn it.
that letter.
You have to burn it. And
Yeah.
you have to watch it burn, I
Yeah.
think. It's very, impactful.
Yeah, we both use this very much, like, as a form of therapy, in a way to release things that are heavy on us.
And in fact, in one of these apologies, I asked Allie, is this a situation where you think I should reach out directly to the person, or is this a situation where it needs to be a letter burn? And I think that that's something that you can ask yourself as well, because some situations maybe don't deserve being opened back up. But that's the thing about apologizing, is it has to be authentic. It has to come from you. If you want to apologize, if you have that little voice that's like, apologize to that person, do it.
Yeah.
Who cares what they're going to think?
Yeah. No, because if not, you're just going to keep ruminating on that. And then it's going to bring up other things. And
at the very least, you're now known as the person who apologizes, which is like, that's cool.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that do that in the world.
I think too, like, for example, you apologizing in the last situation, I think that just shows too how much you've grown as a person, like, since then. Your growth, your healing journey, like, all of it, I think, is like a huge reflection of who you are now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, and both apologies of recent are like 10 plus years over, like, what I'm apologizing for.
Yeah.
At least 10 years. And so it's like, look at how long it took me to get here. Look at how long it took me. And like, that was another cool, interesting part of it too, is like, you can just be living your life and remember something. And I think that happens a lot in sobriety, whether it's like a person, a situation, something you did, a smell, you have all of these triggers, but you can just out of nowhere remember it and be like, I want to make amends for that.
Yeah.
Like, and that, it's just growth.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're growing.
Yes.
And so I don't think apologies are ever a bad thing unless you don't mean them.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. 100%.
So now that you know how to apologize, why to apologize, when to apologize, we're going to just get on our soapbox for the end of this episode a little bit, because something that grinds our gears more than anything is when people apologize when they don't have to.
Yes, it drives me crazy when people are like, sorry.
Because we did it for so
Yeah.
long, and sometimes we still catch ourselves doing it, right?
Yes, yeah.
And it's just, for me, patriarchal thing, that like, I just feel like women were more conditioned to apologize.
Yeah.
Women are more conditioned to excuse themselves for human feelings, human things. I mean, like, girls aren't allowed to fart, but boys are. I mean, like, we are conditioned to be like, I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry, excuse me.
I think too, we are always, which men too, but more women, we're always trying to feel understood and explain like how we are.
And I think that those two things go hand in hand, at least in like the women groups and circles that I've seen, is once you apologize, you over-explain, or like you're explaining yourself as you're apologizing.
Hey, there I am.
And like those two things have to be connected. And that's another part, I mean, to go off of what we've already said of how not to apologize is like, don't explain yourself, because like if the point of your apology is to honor the other person's feeling and to release it yourself, then that's what the point of it is. Over explaining and continuing to talk about it, I think, is just going to bring those feelings back around for both of you. And there's something so freeing about like the period dot, like, I'm sorry, period.
Yeah.
And then it's gone.
Yes.
There's something so powerful.
Yes.
But so many women have been told, to apologize for just being you, and that's where the over-explaining comes in. But here's a few things that I don't think you should ever apologize for. Number uno, your sobriety.
Yeah.
And in early sobriety, we want to apologize for it so much.
Oh my gosh.
Like, if people are making accommodations accommodations for me, it's like, why does that make me want to apologize?
No, really. So I'm going through this hugely like with my diet and eating out at restaurants when I have to tell them all of the things I can't have. I'm like, I'm sorry. And one of my friends, which I think I've said on here, we switch it to I appreciate you instead of apologizing.
I love it.
It's appreciation. I appreciate you for accommodating me.
It sometimes can feel like we're apologizing for like the person that we are now, where we should be appreciative in the situations that people understand who we are, see who we are, and want to help us.
Yes.
And I think that like, because the judgment is so severe on both sides of this alcohol argument, that is another reason why someone would apologize, because of perceived judgment or actual judgment, like, I'm sorry that, this isn't for you, it's for me. Like, you don't have to apologize for stuff like that. You never have to apologize for making a healthier choice for you, even if it goes against every single person that you live with, interact with. Another thing to bounce off of that is how you live in your sobriety. Do you not want to be invited to certain things? Do you leave parties early? Do you request that there be alcohol-free stuff there? Like, you don't have to be sorry about any part of how you're living, asking someone not to bring alcohol to your house. That's something that I've experienced lately, that I had to go into it without like feeling bad or shame. Like, this is my home. You take the power back in your life, in your story, and this is my comfortability level, which leads to my next one. Never apologize for your boundaries.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
When you have a house and you build a fence, you build that fence with the intention of like showing, this is my house, this is my land, please do not cross this, respect this area. Like, that's your intention. And that's the same thing in your life when you put a boundary. You are just building a fence around your space, saying, hey, if I let you into this space, like, you need to be respectful. You need to understand that this is my area, my home. And if you can't, then I'm sorry, you're not going to be welcomed within this fence. But look at what I just did. I said, I'm sorry, because that's what we are so used to doing. I'm sorry you're not allowed in here. No, like, this is what I want in my life. This is what's right for me. You can either choose it or not choose it, but I'm not sorry for whatever you choose, because I'm giving you the option.
Yes. Yes.
Boundaries are about options, and that's something that people a lot of the time don't understand. They think of it as like my way or the highway. That's not it. You have the option to be in my life and be respectful to me, or you have the option to not. But that's not on me, so I'm not going to apologize for it. Who you are now.
Oh.
And I think that can be hard. I was thinking about you too, like when you are known as someone in like a group, or like as your past self, someone always remembers you like that. Maybe you were, the fun partier that everyone wants you to be fun again. Mm-hmm. And so that makes you feel like you have to apologize. You don't have to apologize.
No.
Or maybe you were someone that went out all the time, and now that you're sober, you're finding that your joy is in things like puzzles and shows and hanging out with your dog. That's also something that you don't have to apologize for. That's who you are now.
Yes.
And the people that really love you are going to love you and will come and sit and do puzzles with you.
Yeah. And I think too, in time, in your sobriety, like, your confidence does grow in those areas. Like, it used to be so hard for me and my FOMO and all of it. And literally switching it to JOMO, the joy of missing out, was such a huge step for me, because I want to be everywhere. I want to be everything. I want to do it all,
Yes.
And then when I actually sit down and think about it, I don't. I don't. I want to spend time with myself. I want to spend time at home. I want to sit in color. I want to do these things. And so it's like your confidence in standing true to your boundaries really does grow with you in your sobriety.
And the freedom that comes with releasing the weight of other people's opinions is phenomenal.
Yes.
This is something that women are really prone to apologize for, is your emotions.
Oh my gosh. And I feel like you
I know.
I feel like that one is very heavy on you because, I mean, we all have big emotions, but you do have big emotions.
Huge,
yes. Like
and
bigger.
I'm very sensitive too.
Yes. And it just, I just wish that you didn't feel the need to apologize. But I also, because of the level that I know you on, I know what you're actually apologizing for, not for crying and screaming. That's not what you're apologizing.
Well, and I think that that's when you get to the next level of like, if you're someone that has big emotions, first of all, you've been shamed for them your entire life, whether it was in school, by boyfriends, by friends. Like, I was always called dramatic. I was always like, I cried outside of my high school boyfriend's like room, you know, like they were in there and I'm literally like in the hallway crying and all the girls are laughing at me. I know. I'm laughing now too, but also like just want to give her a hug.
Yes.
But you know, these were like
gosh.
these huge emotions, and like I was known. Like they were like, is just crying outside JJ's room again? And I probably was.
Yeah.
And it was just something that was so shameful. And then within my own family dynamic, you know, and then I think when you have males in your life, males are so allowed to feel anger, but females aren't. Like it's acceptable in like the workplace for males to have anger and females are not allowed to have any emotion. Like I've cried in the workplace so many times. And I think one of the last times I cried in the workplace, I didn't apologize. I just said, I am an emotional person and I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
So that's just what it is. And I think we want to maybe apologize for making other people uncomfortable, but I am not responsible for how you take my emotion if I am being honest in it.
Yes.
And not hurtful.
I love that so much.
Also, like, it says something about you if you're uncomfortable with someone crying around you. I'm sorry. Like, and I don't mean that in a mean way, but like, if you are uncomfortable with someone crying around you, maybe it's because you weren't allowed to cry. Maybe it's because you don't know how to cry. Maybe it's because you have been shamed for crying for so long. And so it's just, I don't know. It's just.
Well, no, a perfect example, which, sorry, babe. Yesterday, Atlas said something because Atlas is a crier. We are criers, okay?
Yeah.
And also, side note, he did say to me on Saturday, if you're a fish, I'm a fish. And I literally wanted to die because we are Pisces
you are
fishes. But he told Chris literally yesterday, well, Dad, no, it hurt really bad, but I tried not to cry. And Chris was like, it's okay to cry. And he goes, but you don't cry. And Chris was like, I do cry, bud. You know, and he was like, I don't think I've ever seen you cry.
Yeah.
And Chris was like, well, next time I'm upset and crying, I'll let you know. And he was like, I do cry. And then afterwards, Chris felt so heavy and came to me and was like, oh my gosh, have I put that mask on so much? Because I've seen Chris cry. I know Chris cries. He's an emotional man too, but I guess not really in front of the children. Just because I don't know if the crying times are really when the kids are away, you know, like it's more when we're having a deep conversation, like on one-on-one time. But it was really interesting for Atlas to say that. And then Chris had like a huge like self-reflection of it.
Well, and I think on the male side too, like they are taught that they can't have those emotions even, and I get so frustrated, but I'm not to the point where I know exactly what to say to people when this happens. I'll get there. But Silas is a bowling ball. I mean, he falls and rolls and is just like all the time. He's falling down things, he's tripping, and I can't tell you how many times in public that this boy falls and then steps back up and the men around are like, you're so tough, good job, shake it off. And I'm like, no, if he wants to cry, he can cry.
Yeah.
And so we're just in this place where society has put so much shame on emotions that makes people across the board apologize for having these emotions. And it's in my growth is when you say, okay, I'm not going to apologize for the emotion, but if the emotion evokes a reaction out of me that is hurtful, mean, violent, painful, I don't know, even like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know why sadistic is coming to mind. That's not what I mean. When you're just being like snappy to someone, not sarcastic, but just like petty,
Yeah, I think that's a good word, petty.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought because I was thinking too hard about that word. Yeah, it's if my emotion gets to that level, that's what I apologize for, is the action that came from my emotion.
Yes,
but I'm not going to apologize for my emotion. And the next one is, don't apologize for your humanity.
Yeah.
When that happens a lot, when you bump into people, or like when
we're human.
You fart.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're farting.
Or like just something like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. The thing when you like bump into an inanimate object and you're like, I'm sorry. Like, you're a human being. Like, you can't just or making noise. That's the biggest thing that, like, I think you and I too, like when we're podcasting or meditation, we like hear our mouth noises and we're like, we're so sorry to the humans of the world. But like, what are we supposed to do? Like,
I can't hold my breath for an hour, sorry.
Not gulp in the middle? I
can't gulp. And I take drinks. I'm sorry. No, see, I just did it. I just said I'm sorry like three times. Oh my gosh.
But like even in meditation too, you like get that where you have to swallow. Yeah. And you like wait till the last minute. And then you're like, it's so loud. And then you're like, I'm so sorry to the world that my gulp, like you're a freaking human. But for some reason, our humanity makes us want to apologize for it instead of just laughing at it. Like, we should just be laughing at our humanity. Existing.
Never say sorry for existing.
And I think like we know people and we've had like interactions with people who literally say sorry for everything.
Everything.
And I hate it.
Yeah. I hate it so much.
Because I like, please, like, if you feel that like need to say it that often, like, I just want to get that and rip it out of your body.
Yeah. No.
It's a sorry alien inside of you. And I'm Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones.
Will Smith.
I would rather be Tommy Lee Jones. I'm sorry. Just something about a cool old dude. Okay, last thing. Are you ready?
Yes.
Things to not apologize for. Things you aren't sorry for. Don't apologize because someone tells you to.
Yeah.
We've already talked about this. Don't apologize because it's the right thing to do. Don't apologize because you think you have to. Don't apologize because you want that person to stop being mad at you. Don't apologize because you want to sleep in your own bed tonight. Don't apologize because, don't apologize when you're not sorry. It's the worst thing to apologize is when you're not sorry.
Yeah. It takes all of the power out of the sorry.
And it ruins it for the person that you're apologizing for. Ultimately, you are not only like hurting the situation, but you are hurting the trust that you have with this person and breaking that relationship at the end of the day.
It's almost like cry wolf. After you do it so many times, it's
not gonna
nothing.
believe you.
Yeah. I don't believe the words coming out of your mouth.
So men, no, I'm just kidding. listen to that. But really, it's just, I think it's, apologies are, what did Dr. Patrick say? Your contribution to bringing out peace to the world around you. It has to come from a place of peace. Don't apologize out of anxiety. Don't apologize out of fear. Apologize because you want to love yourself and the world around you better. And I think that you can do that, especially now in sobriety. So we love you, babes.
Talk soon.